everyone, welcome back in the College Football Now. I'm Lena Bond here with Tom Downey, here to break down Chat Sports' latest CFP mock rankings. A lot of fun happening in college football over the weekend. So before we take a look at number 25, Tom, let's talk about what the committee was really looking for, when they were revealing and making these rankings.
Conference championship, of course, is number one. Strength of schedule is the biggest one there. That's a big factor, especially early on in the year. Quality of wins, quality of losses, also the head-to-head matchups. And by the way, for all you losers in the comments section, quit yelling at me about, oh, Notre Dame barely beat Pitt. Every single college football team has barely survived with wins. That is the nature of it. The end of it is that they won, that they also beat good teams. That's what matters in the end. That's what teams like Notre Dame and Ohio State have done this year. Maybe not Bama, but other teams have done that. Clemson did it too.
All right, Tom, let's go ahead and take it to number 25 then. Stanford, they lost to Notre Dame, but, here they are sitting at 4-2. Now, a lot of people are saying, after losing to Utah, maybe they shouldn't be ranked, Tom.
I mean, who are you going to rank ahead of them?
That's what I'm saying.
You're going to put, like, UC in there, whose best win is a random power or group of five school like Miami of Ohio, my alma mater? No. I'll put Stanford in there. I think the committee made the right call putting him in there. In the end, frankly, 15 to 25 doesn't really matter all that much right now.
It doesn't. No real CFP hopes at all this season. But let us know, should Stanford be ranked? Type Y for yes or N for no. Let's take to number 24 now, another Pac-12 school, Washington State. Now they're taking on Oregon this week, so we're not quite sure how long the Cougars are going to be hanging out in these rankings.
They are favored, though, against Oregon, which was a surprise to me on BetDSI, so we'll see what ends up happening there.
We will. It'll be a great game.
Maybe they do pull off the, non-upset because they're favored, but the upset in terms of rankings.
How are you the favorite when you're number 24 and you're playing number 12? I digress.
Trap game.
Let's take it to number 23, Iowa. This is the first time they've been in Chat Sports mock college football playoff rankings. They're sitting there at 5-1, and you know what, Tom? They're a decent team. The
loss against Wisconsin will, of course, hold them back, but if you're Ohio State, you actually probably want Iowa to win out, find their way into the Big Ten title game, because then if you're Ohio State, you will have beaten an Iowa team with 2 losses total, than a Wisconsin team with 3 losses, because we assume Ohio State will win out there.
Well, speaking of Wisconsin, here they are at number 22. They lost to Michigan last week, Tom, so I think it's pretty safe to say they're on the outside looking in when it comes to the playoff. Yeah,
they're not getting in. Alex Warnerbrook, I warned you guys, isn't very good at quarterback.
And then at number 21, rounding out the bottom 5 is Mississippi State. I'm not hot on this team, and you're not very hot on them either, Tom.
They've won some nice games. I think in the end they'll finish with like 4, maybe 5 losses, and then end up being that 4-loss SEC team that somehow ends up being ranked like 23rd overall.
All right, let's take the number 20 now. A team that's dropped a lot in the rankings since we first did our first mock, and that's Penn State, another 2-loss team.
Penn State had that narrow win against App State. They blew out Pitt. But then they lost at versus Ohio State. They lost at home to Michigan State. If you're Penn State, what's your ideal win to vault you up higher than 20? I just don't see it.
Number 19, South Florida, a group of 5 team. Yes, they're undefeated, but they have not played anybody, Tom. And that's all you can really say about that.
The committee consistently does not like group of 5 teams that don't beat actual quality Power 5 schools. South Florida, we'll get to them later, I'm sure. UCF, they don't qualify in that area. They just don't make sense for them. So, sorry, group of 5 schools. The committee will always hate you.
Number 18, a team that wasn't even ranked last week, Tom, but took, quite a huge leap up is Michigan State. Now they're taking on Michigan this week, so we'll see if they'll remain in our rankings come next week.
With a loss, depending on what else happened, maybe they could still be like number 25.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe they could be in over a team like Stanford, but I don't know what to make of them. They lost to Arizona State. They lost to Northwestern. They beat Penn State at home. Big old question mark, I guess, in the end for Michigan State.
All right. Number 17, the Washington Huskies. They were ranked, I think, as high as 7 at one point, but here they are 5-2 after losing to the Oregon Ducks at Autzen Stadium last week, Tom.
They barely beat UCLA. They barely beat Arizona State. They barely beat Utah. Their loss against Auburn is no longer a quality loss. That's going to keep pulling them down the rankings. That's why they're all the way down there at 17.
NC State, well, they're taking on Clemson this week, and they already raised 4 spots since last week's mock rankings. Tom, do you think they have a chance?
I mean, they have a chance. I'm saying there's a chance for NC State, but no, I don't think they're going to find a way to beat Clemson.
Yeah,
I think Clemson's just a much better football team.
I think that'd be a pretty tall order. And speaking of college football, you got a pretty fun game going on this weekend, Tom.
Yes, I do. Pick them against the spread for all the top 25 games each week. Sign up is free with BetDSI. Use promo code CFB120 while you do it. And then DM me on Twitter, @WhatGoingDowney. If you come in first place, for all you guys that think you know more than me, because I see plenty of you guys in the comment section, I love you guys. Never change. It's all in good fun. DM me on Twitter @WhatGoingDowney. If you come in first place, if you beat me and everybody else, we'll give you 25 bucks.
Free cash.
Free to sign up with a chance to win 25 bucks each and every single week. What more do you want?
All right, let's continue on with Chat Sports mock playoff rankings. We'll take it to number 15 now. It's UCF. Yes, they're undefeated, but same thing like South Florida, Tom. They just haven't played
Last
anybody.
year, they went undefeated, and they finished number 12 in the rankings. The committee doesn't like these group of 5 schools.
Texas A&M, probably the best 2-loss team, sitting there at number 14, followed by West Virginia. They take quite a tumble in the rankings after losing. Kentucky there at number 12, Tom, and then at number 11, my Oregon Ducks. Out of these 5 teams, who has the best shot to catapult themselves into the top 6?
Believe it or not, folks, it's actually Kentucky. Because if Kentucky wins out,
My heart.
Kentucky's in. If Oregon wins out, I don't know if they are. In fact, I think they're not. If it's West Virginia, maybe. It's actually Kentucky, who I still think is underrated right now, based on their resumes.
All right, let's go ahead and take the number 10 now. The Florida Gators, 6-1. They break into the top 10 this week, followed by Georgia. Now they take a plummet from 4 to 9 after losing versus LSU. Tom, do you still believe in this Georgia team?
I think they'll win the SEC East in the end. And if Georgia wins out, they're in. If Florida wins out, they're in. Well, don't discount Florida and Kentucky like that, Elena. Excuse me. I am maybe a little bit worried about Georgia because I didn't think Jake Fromm looked very good, but that's a really good LSU defense. And as I mentioned earlier, I think 8 through 12 or so.
Yes.
If you guys want to try and flip the order on me, I will listen to you guys and agree.
Especially if you put my Ducks at number 8.
Stop it, Lana. It is a razor-thin margin right there, and that's why we have a bunch of games left in the season. It'll all sort itself out in the end.
All right, number 8, the Oklahoma Sooners. They rise a little bit in the rankings this week. And then number 7, Texas. They also rise a little bit in the rankings this week. Who do you like better to take home the Big 12, Texas or Oklahoma?
I'll go with Texas.
I love it.
I like their defense, even though they gave a bunch of points to Oklahoma, but they gave enough to win the game, I guess. I like Texas. I like Oklahoma a lot, too. It's a tiebreaker, really close for those two for me. I'll go with the team that won the game earlier this year. How about that?
If you want to bet on Texas winning the CFP this season, head to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code CFP120 for a 120% deposit bonus. Alabama, they're sitting pretty at -285 odds right now.
That's insane.
Absolutely blows my mind, but it kind of makes sense.
The odds are not the same as these mock rankings. The odds are who will likely end up winning, and even though Bama's probably not going to be number 1 here, there's a reason all the commenters right now on Facebook are picking Bama.
Yep, Michigan,
I understand, I get it.
LSU, Oklahoma, Texas, they round out the top 10 best odds to take home the CFP this season, according to BetDSI. All right, Tom, ready to get in the top 6?
Let's do it.
All right, number 6, they take a huge jump in the rankings this week. The Michigan Wolverines after taking on the Wisconsin Badgers. Now, is this Michigan team for reals?
As we sit right now, yes. Okay. Now, we'll have to reevaluate them, of course, after Michigan State, after Penn State, after OSU. But they beat a good Wisconsin team. The knock had been, Michigan can't beat good teams. Then they beat Wisconsin.
Yep.
Now the knock is they can't win games on the road. We'll see what happens there. So I like Michigan. They've had some narrow wins, as every team does, guys. But the quality loss and a good win over Wisconsin gets them above Texas. Plus, Michigan beat Maryland. Texas couldn't.
Yep. And that's why they're sitting there at number 6. Number 5, LSU. Tom, I told you earlier, I don't really know what to make of this LSU team. One week I think they're legit CFP contenders, and the others, they kind of disappoint me. What's your take?
I will at all my haters in the comments section right now because you yelled at us for having LSU too high and said, oh, see, they lost to Florida. They shouldn't have been ranked high at all. Then they go beat Georgia. Maybe they're just a good football team. Maybe that a lot of teams end up losing games, as it happens every single year.
All right, number 4, the Clemson Tigers. I don't think they've been battle-tested yet this season. They will be taking on NC State this week, Tom. Do you think Clemson will make the CFP when it's all said and done?
If they beat NC State, yes, because their schedule isn't all that daunting. The issue for Clemson is if they lose a game, could a one-loss Big Ten champion get in over them? Could even a potentially one-loss Notre Dame team get in over them?
We'll have to see. Number 3, we have the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, they are probably arguably the best team in college football, but yet their strength of record and their strength of schedule is reeling them back. We're going to take it to number 2 now, Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, this is a team, no Nick Bosa, no problem, no Urban Meyer, no problem. Dwayne Haskins has been that dude all season long.
It is about the quality of wins. That's why Notre Dame is at number 1. Yes, they've had close losses. The committee doesn't value that as much as I think some of the commenters do right now. They have better wins than Ohio State, who has better wins than Alabama. That's what gets Notre Dame, Ohio State, Bama, Clemson in that order in the top 4.
All right, guys, be sure to tune in to the Cam Rogers Show tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on Facebook Live and YouTube for some more college football analysis.